Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of Guess the Banzuke for January 2024. And this one looks like there's going to be a lot of clear-cut winners and losers on this Banzuke. A lot of guys obviously dropping out, a lot of guys obviously coming back up too. So let's just jump right into it. And the first thing I'm going to do is the Juryo demotions because we have a lot of them. Kitanawaka, Roga, Tohakuryu, Nishiki Fuji, Takara Fuji, Tomokaze are saved, but I think Kotoeko also moves down here. Oops. I forgot to do something like this. So let's just move all these guys down, Nishiki Fuji, and then Kotoeko as well, for 5 demotions. And that means Aoyama, Kotoshoho, Bushozan, Shimazu Umi, and I would say probably Onosato are the ones to come up, obviously. And it works out perfectly like that. So let's just mark them in blue for now, and we'll continue on in a little bit. Yokozuna, Teruno Fuji, obviously. Kirishima will leapfrog Takakeisho. Takakeisho, I think, will just fall down one. And then Hoshoryu, I don't actually know if he will leapfrog over Takakeisho here, because Takakeisho also had a winning record. Hoshoryu, just a 10-5. Whereas Kirishima with the 13-2 Yusho, he has to become Ozeki 1 East, So I'm going to do a little bit more research on the Ozeki jump. If Hoshoryu would be over Takakeisho, or, because Takakeisho didn't get a losing record, if he would just stay Ozeki 1 West. Next up, it is a little bit easier now. We do have Daisho and Kotonowaka being those 2 Sekiwake, and Wakamoto Haru falling out of Sekiwake means that we only have 2 Sekiwake now. All right, now let's, for the rest of these guys that it's going to be a little harder to call, let's start highlighting them so it makes it a little bit easier to recognize where they're going to go. Winners will go up, losers will go down. Tobizaru, 7 and 8, Nishikigi, 7 and 8. Lots of 7 and 8s on this Banzuke, which means there might be a lot of guys staying in the same spot. That does happen. Kotoeko, we already bumped down. So let's just mark these guys in red for losers, and then green for winners. Ura, Takayasu, Midori Fuji, Kin Bozan, Atami Fuji, Mitake Umi, and Ichi Yamamoto, of course. Not Nishiki Fuji, but Chura no Umi. There we go. Mark those guys in green. And then, of course, I'll mark in blue these guys that are falling. So, the way this, I think, is going to work is we saw in the last Banzuke, there was a lot of leapfrogging. So, even though Takayasu's 2 ranks lower than Ura with an 8 and 7, 10 and 5, Takayasu gets that Komusubi slot. Ura moves up right next to him, and that's how that's going to go. Then, of course, I think Gonoyama moves up to that Maegashira 1 slot. And Atami Fuji, even though he is much lower with an 11 and 4 Jun Yusho, could leapfrog Gonoyama. I'll just leave that there for now. Then, it is a little tricky for Wakamoto Haru, because it is possible that like Atami Fuji goes to M1, Gonoyama M2, and then Wakamoto Haru slots in at M1. But I think what's going to happen here is Wakamoto Haru falls to about Maegashira 2. We have Abi falling to maybe, Maegashira 3. Hokuto Fuji falling a little bit further down. Asanoyama -7 on his score, but they are kind of lenient to guys near the top. Meisei, another -7, probably all the way down here. Takayasu, we went up. Gonoyama, we went up. Tobizaru could realistically stay in the same slot. Hokuto Fuji could also, move over here. Nishikigi could also realistically in the same spot. And then, we have someone like Midori Fuji just jumps right up to Maegashira 2. Fits in perfectly here. Now, again, question of Waka over Midori or vice versa. Is Wakamoto Haru going to fall all the way down to Maegashira 2 West, or is he going to fall to, East? It's going to be a little difficult to say. So what I can actually do is query the Banzuke just really quick, and we can ask it a question. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So rank, Sekiwake, 6 and 9. And let's take a quick look. I want to see the more recent dates. Shodai, the last time it happened was Maegashira 1. Mitakeumi, the last time that happened was Maegashira 2, Maegashira 1, Maegashira 2, Maegashira 1, 1, 2, 2. So it could be either Maegashira 1 or 2. What I think is going to happen is Maegashira 2 because Gonoyama is right there to move up. Atami Fuji, they're going to need to move him up. I mean, there's no way they don't move Atami Fuji up to Maegashira 1. So I think it slots in perfectly here. Wakamoto Haru falls to Maegashira 2. Tobizaru and Nishikigi staying at the same spot, you know, that's a maybe. That's a big maybe because we could also see some like Ryuden Leapfrog up over Kinbozan Mitakeumi, bump these guys down a little bit, you know? So let's actually take a look at that. 10 and 5 for Ryuden from Maegashira 10. Where does that usually land them? A couple of times, or once to Komusubi, a handful of times to Maegashira 1, 2, lots of times to 3 and 4. So Maegashira 3 seems to be where Ryuden would fall. And as much as I don't want to move Tobizaru down, Hokuto Fuji, Nishikigi, I think I would have to scoot them all down and over by like half of a rank. We could do something like this. And then slot Ryuden up right here in Maegashira 3. Seems to make the most sense there. A little bit of an over promotion, so I also wouldn't be opposed to putting him at like Maegashira 4, but then I'd have to scooch down Nishikigi. So I think for now we'll just leave Ryuden there. So that's another question. Ryuden over Tobizaru or under Nishikigi, I think is going to be another big question right there. And then as far as other bigger winners go, I mean, it's obvious we're going to see, you know, Kinbozan move up. It's just a matter of how far. Mitakeumi move up. Sadano Umi definitely going to move up over some of these losers, especially, you know, Hirado Umi. Tamawashi, Tsurugisho might also get the leapfrog over someone like Asanoyama. So let's just scooch that in right there. Oho. Wouldn't be a bad idea to move him back up there. Ichi Yamamoto, though, where are we going to slot him? He definitely needs to leapfrog a bunch of these guys. And then Shurano Umi right below. Because then we also have a bunch of big losers, but we also have a couple of not so big losers. So let's just back it up a little bit with all of those winners. And let's just take it from the top. So Onosho -9, he is going to go falling. He's obviously not going to fall all of those ranks. Takanosho, a -5. Probably not going to fall all of those ranks too, but let's just put him low. Endo, he's going to fall. Probably stay above Onosho, maybe. Myogiryu, he's going to fall not too far. And then Takeda Fuji, probably not going to fall that far. Tomokaze could realistically stay the same rank. And then we have a bunch of, Juryo promos. Like Aoyama could be Maegashira 17 East. And that is one of the things coming in, is these promos and the fall of that third Sekiwake means that we have the Maegashira 17 West opened up again. So be sure to keep that in mind when looking at these Banzuke. You will have Maegashira 17 West. Is it going to be Aoyama? Probably not. So let's back that up a little bit. We already did Midori Fuji and Ryuden. Kinbozan does have to move up. I don't think Hokuto Fuji and Nishiki Fuji are going to fall that far, and I don't think Kinbozan would leapfrog over them. Tami Fuji, we already moved up. Mitakeumi, probably not going to move up as far. So we could do something like Ichi Yamamoto leapfrogs all of these guys, because he has the 11 and 4 Junyusho up to like Maegashira 6. Might be a bit of an over promotion. But like I said, especially during the last Banzuke, you can see, there were a lot of leapfrogs, like Hokuseiho leapfrogging over Endo and Kinbozan. Hokuseiho over Endo and Kinbozan. I almost, predicted that perfectly. But let's see. Another one was Takayasu over Gonoyama and Onosho Takayasu over Gonoyama and Onosho. So even though he is a little bit lower, again, gets that leapfrog over them. I think he didn't get the leapfrog over Uda, duh. But you know, that's something we have to be careful to look out for. I'm trying to look for another example. Myogiryu, where did he fall? Did he fall over Sadano Umi? He probably did, yes. So Myogiryu was 2 ranks above Sadano Umi. He didn't get the leapfrog over someone like Mitakeumi Kinbozan, so they were a little too high. Whereas Ichiyamamoto is right in the thick of it. He had 2 more wins than anyone else. Ichiyamamoto has to be above everyone else, I think. Maybe not Mitakeumi. Maybe he's not above Mitakeumi, but he definitely will be above everyone else in this, you know, Maegashira 11 and lower group with their 8 and 7s, with their 9 and 6s. Let's see. A couple of guys I did not put on this loser list just yet was Shonan no Umi and Hokuseiho from Maegashira 6 and 7. Truthfully, I'm not sure if they move down the Banzuke. I do like to keep Maegashira, or I do like to keep 7 and 8s where they are, but it's basically 50-50 whether or not a 7 and 8 will actually move up or down the Banzuke. Or not up, but will not move down versus will move down. So let's query this real quick. Let's see. He was Maegashira 6, 7 and 8. And, you know, a lot of it is contextual too. A lot of it depends on how things were falling. Some of them actually went up, but we won't count those. So Maegashira 6, a good handful of times will stay at Maegashira 6, you know, east and west, that kind of thing. Sometimes even just fall down the half of a rank. A lot of Maegashira 7s, a lot of Maegashira 7s and 8s. So I think from the middle of the Banzuke, it's more reasonable to assume they will fall down. So we can do something like Hokuseiho over a half of a rank while Shonan no Umi loses a full rank, and I think that's fine. I think that makes the most sense, especially because we do need to slot in Mitakeumi over Ichiyamamoto. The question is, Ichiyamamoto over Mitakeumi? I'm not sure. That could be another coin flip. I do need to take a look to see if other people have done their Guess the Banzukes, but it is only, you know, what is this, the Wednesday after the tournament ended, so I'm not too sure if a lot of people have worked on their guesses just yet. But I will take a look at that in a little bit. For now, though, you know, I might be the first one getting it out there, so I might set the precedent. I might change it a little bit along the way. So for now, this is how we'll do it. I think it's fine that Shonan no Umi will fall only 1 rank. Hokuseiho falls a half of a rank. Mitakeumi goes up above them. Makes sense. And then now we just need to slot in pretty much everyone in this winner group down here. Sadano no Umi and Oho, I think, will be the lowest promotions. Meisei, a 4 and 11 from Maegashira 2. Let me double check that. He's not going to fall that far. It's definitely not going to fall to Maegashira 10. A couple of times just to Maegashira 5. A majority of the time to Maegashira 7 and 8 and 9. So Maegashira 10, a little too low for Meisei. So I think what we're going to do here for Meisei is slot him in right at Maegashira 8, because that'll be right next to, you know, Asanoyama, who also had a 4 and 11. He will stay below Asanoyama. Or we could even do something like Hokuseiho over here while Asanoyama stays above. That way Hokuseiho and Shonan no Umi fall 1 full rank, whereas Asanoyama, he was Maegashira 1 East. Let's actually check that real quick too. Maegashira 1 with a 4 and 11. Let's see. A lot of the times in Maegashira 7, 8, mostly to 8 it looks like. But again, considering the circumstances of the Banzuke and these injuries too, a lot of people were saying in my chat that they are less lenient for injured Rikishi compared to, you know, being more lenient. So Asanoyama will probably fall further, but I don't know if there's actually any kind of statistics behind that. So I'm just going to go with what feels best. And then, of course, slotting in all these guys again from between like Maegashira 9 through 12. I think it's gonna be Hirada Umi stays above, Tamawashi stays above, Tsurugisho will leapfrog, Sarano Umi. Churano Umi, will he leapfrog as well? He can't because Sarano Umi does need to move up. So if anything, we might have Tsurugisho over there, Sarano Umi up a full rank, Oho up a full rank, Churano Umi right there next to him. And then that is everyone right there, I think. Let me double check that because sometimes I just lose a name all the time. So Sada, Hira, Tamawashi, Tsurugisho, Oho, Churano Umi. We pushed Ichiyamamoto way up. We pushed Ryuden all the way up. And right now, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 empty slots with an extra dangling Tomokaze here. So I think I'm missing someone. Shodai. I'm missing Shodai. Shodai. Of course it would be Shodai. Shodai, I think he would fall below Tobizaru and Nishikigi, the 6 and 9. At the same time, though, he could just like I didn't really notice if that leapfrog works in reverse. Would Shodai fall below Nishikigi here, or would he stay above Tobizaru here? Let's try to see. Someone like Meisei, well, no. Let's see. Someone like Ryuden compared to Oho, Hirada Umi, and Kotoeko. Well, Ryuden would stay on top, but let's see. Oho fell below Kotoeko and Hirada Umi. Not really any good examples in this Banzuke. Let's go back a little bit. Bigger losing records, leapfrog smaller ones. Like Shodai versus Uda right here. Does Shodai fall lower than Uda? And he does not. So it's Maegashira 3, Maegashira 4. Well, Uda stayed the same rank. Shodai only fell 1 rank. So, let's see. Hirada Umi and Hokuseiho versus Onosho and Oho. Obviously, they're at the same rank. So let's kind of take a look at like Hirada Umi versus Takayasu. So Hirada Umi was 5 and 10 from Maegashira 5. Hirada Umi, Maegashira 8. Takayasu, Maegashira 7. That's how it fell. And that is, well, way off from what I guessed. But Takayasu, again, staying the same rank from those middle ranks, did get leapfrogged over. So Shodai, I think he will stay above Tobizaru and Hokuto Fuji. So we're going to have to like scooch down everyone by a half of a rank, which I think that'll be fine. If we scooch down and over everyone by half of a rank, it might actually even look better. Because that way Nishikigi falls a full rank. Hokuto Fuji gets a little punished. But if we do something like this, where maybe, yeah, Abi was a rank higher, so Abi should stay higher. We could even have Ryuden over Shodai here. So instead of Ryuden over Tobi and Nishikigi, Shodai, Ryuden, coin flip, maybe? But the rest of this looks fine. Because now, with Shodai being slotted in, Tobizaru falls 1 rank. Nishikigi falls 1 rank. Hokuto Fuji, it's a little hard on him. 5 and 10 from Komusubi. Let's, I think I already fact checked that, but let's see again. 5 and 10. Usually Maegashira 2, 3. A lot of Maegashira 3s. Good amount of Maegashira 4s as well. So Maegashira 5 might be pushing it for Hokuto Fuji, but again, we want to try to take a look at this leapfrog. Does Hokuto Fuji fall below Shodai, or does he stay above Shodai? So let's try to go back a little bit further to try to find other examples of losers. Let's see. We have like Ryuden versus Mitakeumi and Onosho here in May of 23. So where does Ryuden, Mitakeumi, and Onosho fall? Ryuden, Maegashira 10. Mitake Umi was Maegashira 6. And Onosho was Maegashira 9. So a little aggressive there, but I guess that does lend credence to the injuries count a little harsher. Like the absences count a little harsher because Onosho fell pretty far compared to Mitake Umi. But there's one example of it happening. Ryuden did fall below those two. Let's try going back to March. You also have to remember precedent. It doesn't really exist because the Banzuke is a living thing. So let's see. Not too many good examples here. January 23. Man, Tochinoshin was still on the Banzuke, huh? Yutakiyama was still on the Banzuke at the beginning of the year, too. He lost a lot of weight. Let's see. Ichinojo, Takarafuji, Tochinoshin. Well, I'm trying to find someone higher up. So let's see. Mitake Umi versus Tamawashi, Tobizaru, and Daieisho here. So Mitake Umi fell to Maegashira 2. Tobizaru and Daieisho fell only 1 rank. And then Tamawashi also stayed below Mitake Umi, of course. So there's another example of that small leapfrog right there. So I think what we're going to do for this one is we are going to, let's see, Hokuto Fuji was above Shodai. We have to keep Hokuto Fuji above Shodai. No, that's what I'm trying to prove. Does Hokuto Fuji fall below Shodai? I think Hokuto Fuji stays below Shodai here. And Shodai will only fall to Maegashira 4 and get saved. Because Hokuto Fuji has to go below Abi, obviously. Shodai has to stay below Abi. And then everyone else, I think this fits perfectly fine. I think this fits really well. So let's review the top here. Sanyaku stays the same. Takayasu Uda, Takayasu will leapfrog Uda into Komusubi East. Gonoyama, does Atami Fuji leapfrog him? We could try to go back and find examples of that. So let's look for big winning records versus middling winning records. I mean, Hokuseo didn't leapfrog Shodai. But like Myogiryu over Endo, let's say. Was Myogiryu? No, Myogiryu was 1 rank below Endo. Let's try to go back a little bit further. Like this Hokuto Fuji over Asanoyama and Meisei. Hokuto Fuji did get over Meisei and Asanoyama. And that was from Maegashira 9 with 12 wins. So let's see. July 23. Let's see. Is there another big winning record for the middle ranks? Not really, except maybe, well, Asanoyama over the likes of, let's say, Hirado Umi, Mitake Umi. So where does Asanoyama slot in here? He was under Mitake Umi, who got the 9 and 6 from Maegashira 6. He was, let's see, Mitake Umi, Midori Fuji. Who was I looking at against? Asanoyama. Asanoyama was Maegashira 4. And he was over Hirado Umi. Yes, he was. So, in a case like this, I forgot what I was looking for. Where Atami Fuji was going to fall. So, in a case like this, I think Gonoyama stays above Atami Fuji. It's kind of a rough call, though. Let me keep looking for something a little more similar. Like, it has to be a big score versus an 8 and 7 near the top. Let's say Onosho over Abi here. Onosho is below Abi. January 23. Let's see. Abi 12 and 3 Yusho compared to, well, of course he's going to leapfrog Midori Fuji. He was next to Midori Fuji, actually. I thought Midori Fuji was going to stay above, but Abi leapfrogged him. That's one example of the leapfrog happening. Let's go back to November of last year. Let's see. Ryuden 11-4 Junyusho, that's a little too low. September of last year. Takanosho injured again. Not a big enough record from these middle ranks. Sadano Umi Junyusho, Maegashira 12. No one really up there to compare him to. Let's see. I did not color code it back then, huh? It seems to be up in the air. Let's see. Ishiuda from Maegashira 12, 11-4. That's a little too low. Okay, let's see. Abi 12-3 Junyusho versus Uda's 8-7. Let's see. Man, back when Ishiuda was on the Banzuke, Abi did leapfrog Uda by a lot here. That was again 12 from a little bit higher on the Banzuke. January 22. Let's see. I know I'm trying to go back a little far, but let's see. Uda 10-5 over, let's say, Endo. Yeah, this might be a little more comparable. Uda versus Endo here. And Uda did leapfrog Endo as well. So I think I'm going to go for the Itami Fuji leapfrog over Gonoyama. I think that makes the most sense. That's just splitting hairs at this point, though. But I do want to try to get it right and use real life examples, even though, you know, the Banzuke is a living thing. It all might just be fake anyway. But now let's try to slot in these guys down at the bottom. Koto Shoho, 12-3 Yusho from Juryo 1. It's always hard to call where a Juryo Yusho will fall. Did happen with Itami Fuji, Juryo 1. He went up to Maegashira. Where was he? Itami Fuji moved up to Maegashira 15. There was a bigger one. Gonoyama 14-1. He moved up to Maegashira 13. So Maegashira 12 is a little above Koto Shoho's pay grade here. So I think what we'll do is, let's see, Endo was 5-8. We can slot him in right there. Myogiryu. Endo will fall below Myogiryu, actually. And then Onosho, Takanosho, Takeda Fuji. Let's see. Onosho, I think he will leapfrog below. Actually, he might be saved here. Let me check. M5, 3-12. Does not happen often. I can tell you that. Let's see. Maegashira 13, 14, 12, somewhere in these teens. So wherever Onosho falls, it's going to be appropriate. Again, the question is, does he go below Endo or above Endo? Which I think he'll fall below Endo. Let me just write down like Onosho below Endo or above Mule. I think he's going to fall below them, though. Tomokaze could realistically stay the same rank here, or they could put Koto Shoho up there and have him fall a half of a rank. Takanosho, 5-10 from Maegashira 6. Let's see, Maegashira 6, 5-10. But some of those were absences, which we did see in the example, and you know, rumors are around that they do count a little bit harsher. A lot of it falls to Maegashira 10, Maegashira 11. So I think we're being a little too harsh on Takanosho here. So I think we put Takanosho up here, Tomokaze over, Onosho down, Endo over, Myogiryu down, Takanosho right here. I think if anything, maybe Churano Umi below Takanosho. But I don't want to put Takanosho any higher because we have a good small clump of winners right here that do deserve promotion, especially, you know, Oho. I think he would be robbed if he only went up a half of a rank. Same thing with Sadano Umi. But you also do have to consider the top of the Banzuke shrunk by a half of a rank, so going up a half of a rank is technically a promotion of a full rank, although it doesn't look like it on the paper. But, you know, again, that's splitting hairs a little bit. Let's let's see, where was Meisei again? 4 and 11 from Maegashira 2. I don't believe he will fall below these guys. And if I was a little more cruel to some of these winners, I would say Takanosho probably doesn't fall below them either. Let's see. I do believe Tsurugisho will leapfrog Sarano Umi and Oho. Or maybe even fall below Sarano Umi like I have here, because Sarano Umi does have to move up. This is where it gets a little tough. Because this entire section right here is just a big question mark. Like, because Asanoyama is not going to fall that far. Hokuseiho is not going to fall more than 1 rank. He's not going to go from Maegashira 7 to Maegashira like 12 with a 7 and 8. Same with Shonan no Umi. They both fall a rank and a half in this setup. So we might just have to under-promote some of these guys down here. Like Churan no Umi, like Oho, like Sada no Umi. Let me actually check. How often does Maegashira, what was he, 11, 12? With an 8 and 7. How often does he only go up like 1 rank? Let's see. Sometimes they do only move up a half of a rank. The last time that happened was Mokonami back in 2011 right there. Went up a full rank Meisei back in March of 2019. I don't have that one. Let's see. Oki no Umi, November 2018. Let's see. Lots of just 1 rank gains. Couple of half rank gains hidden in here as well, like Ogi Nishiki here in July 96. Sada no Umi went up a rank and a half. So I think this is fine for Oho and Sada no Umi, both only going up a half of a rank off of their 8 and 7s, because again, it's a traffic jam. They're going to get leapfrogged by these 9 and 6s. So I think this is a fair assessment here. Now, though, these losers, Takada Fuji M13, he would fall below Tomokaze, so I think that's appropriate. And, well, actually this, again, pretty much from Hira to Takada Fuji seems you know what I mean? I'm just going to write that down as a note to myself because I feel like Meisei can't fall any lower. If anything, maybe bump Hokuseiho down another rank, put Meisei there. I don't know. It's really hard to predict where these, big losing records do fall because it could go anywhere. Like Meisei falling to Maegashira 9 is as realistic as Meisei falling to Maegashira 7. Honestly, could go either way. So I'm just going to keep that there. Now, as far as the Juryo men go, obviously Koto Shoujo is going to be on top. Bushozan could go right here. Question is, will Onosato leapfrog Bushozan? I don't know, but Shimazu Umi right there, Aoyama right there, slots in perfectly. Onosato over Busho? Don't know. But that's my only question about where these Juryo slots kind of fill in. And maybe I just accidentally set it up a little too conveniently down here that they do slot in from Maegashira 15 West to 17 West. But I mean, Aoyama was only going to go up that far anyway. Koto Shoujo, he didn't have the 14 and 1 that Gonoyama did earlier this year. And even then, Gonoyama went up to Maegashira 13. So 2 less losses, 2 less ranks. Kind of makes sense there, but I mean, if you look at it 1-to-1, Koto Shoujo moving up 5 ranks off of the 12 and 3 Yusho, or not even 5 ranks, just 3 ranks, seems a little unfair to him, but I mean, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Takada Fuji's not going to go any lower than Maegashira 15. Definitely not. Tomokaze, he's not going to go any lower than Maegashira 14, 15. So, I mean, if we wanted to be cruel, we could put Koto Shoujo above Tomokaze and scooch Tomokaze down, Takada Fuji over, but I don't think they would do that. They have not been kind to these guys at in Juryo. Like, look, Atami Fuji, Juryo 1, Maegashira 15. Let's see. Gonoyama, Maegashira 13. Then Shonan no Umi 11 and 4 from Juryo 1. Shonan no Umi was Maegashira 14. So there was a little more leeway for him then. I predicted Maegashira 15. I did get Gonoyama Maegashira 13 too, funnily enough. Let's see. Asanoyama 13 and 2 with a 14 and 1 from Ichinojo. I predicted this. They got screwed, but not as bad as I thought they would. Ichinojo Maegashira 13, Asanoyama Maegashira 14. But you could also make the argument those were returning veterans that we knew would perform well. Let's see. Do we have any more examples within recent times? Ryuden 12 and 3, Juryo 1, Maegashira 12. So they are not kind to these guys. And I doubt they would push someone like Endo even lower than this. Like this is the lowest I feel like Endo would go. I know I've already checked this like twice, but let me check it again. Maegashira 8, 5, and 10. Like Endo on average would fall around Maegashira 12, 13. It looks like that's the median at least. Very rare cases of falling to Juryo. But I don't see him falling any further than this. Onosho, I don't see him falling any further than this. Tomokaze, I don't see him above Onosho or Endo in this situation. So I think, again, if they wanted to be cruel to Takeda Fuji for some reason, they would put Koto Shoho above him. But I think this is just how it's going to fall. And let me double check the sumo games in the Nato Sumo Discord to see if anyone has actually started their Banzuke guesses. And we do have one. Let's see. Doesn't look like we have any more. Yeah, these are from while the tournament was still going. So this is the first and only guess I can find. And let's see. Comparing our guesses to theirs. Let's see, this comes from, let me credit them from the Discord. I hope they don't mind me stealing their picture. Let's see, I lost it. There it is. This is from Shrewd Gochan Believer Baz. So let's see. Kirishima, they do have Hoshoryu over Takakeisho. Again, I would have to confirm that. I don't think that's going to happen. They also have, let's see, Kotonowaka Daisho, Takayasu Ura, Atami Fuji, Wakamoto Haru. I could see that. Wakamoto Haru only falling to Maegashira 1. They do screw Gonoyama a little bit. That is reasonable. Will that happen? Maybe, actually. Gonoyama from Maegashira 4. Yeah, you know what? Let's actually do that. Because I've said this before, and it is kind of true. They are kinder to men falling out of the Sanyaku. Like we saw it with Shodai earlier this year. We saw it with Mitakeumi last year, Wakamoto Haru right now. Let's just go back to try to find some more recent examples. I mean, Nishikigi Tobizaru at the last Banzuke, they only fell to Maegashira 3 and 4, so not so kind there. But let's see, Abi 6 and 9 from Komusubi fell to Maegashira 2. That's an appropriate fall. But I'm trying to find, like, here we go. Shodai 6 and 9 from Komusubi 2 falls to Maegashira 2. That's another appropriate fall. I'm trying to find something a little harsher. Like Wakataka Kage. No, that doesn't really fit. Shodai, here we go. 6 and 9 from Shodai. He falls to Maegashira 1. So that's the most recent example. There were 4 Sekiwake at that point, though. So that might have influenced a little bit. Let's see. January Mitakeumi, Sekiwake 2. He falls to Maegashira 2, though. So if we want to use exclusively the recent examples, could go either way. Like Daisho 7 and 8 falls to Komusubi 2. Ichinojo, he fell to Maegashira 2 with his 6 and 9. So I think the onus of this question is more on Does Gonoyama actually go up that high? Probably not. Now, we can actually erase that because, you know, I didn't consider this earlier as well. Going back to those leapfrogs we had, Midori Fuji over Gonoyama. That's what this person has, and oops, and I think that's the right call. I wasn't considering it earlier, probably just due to a lapse in my own judgment, but that Midori Fuji over Gonoyama makes a lot of sense. Now, Abi falling only to Maegashira 2 could happen. Maybe Gonoyama Abi coin flip. I don't think Gonoyama would only move up 1 rank, though. And then, let's see. Keeping on the comparisons. I am very kind to Ryuden here, putting him at Maegashira 3. This person only has Tobizaru and Nishikigi falling 1 rank, kind of like I do. I have Ryuden over Tobizaru. Let's see, what is the difference we have here? Abi, Shodai, Hokuto Fuji. They only have Hokuto Fuji at Maegashira 3. They have Ryuden above Tobizaru, so they have Hokuto Fuji above Ryuden. I don't think they'll be that kind. Will they be that kind to Ryuden, though? That's the question. And that's why I have Shodai Ryuden coin flip, but I don't have something like, you know, Hokuto Fuji Shodai coin flip. I think Hokuto Fuji... We spent a lot of time guessing, will Hokuto Fuji fall below Shodai? The conclusion we came to was, yes, I think so. So I think I want to keep Hokuto Fuji below Shodai. Whether or not that's too kind to Ryuden, you know, we'll see. And then Nishikigi, Maegashira 5. Then they have Keen Bozan, Shonan no Umi. Shonan no Umi falling to Maegashira 6. Whereas I have Mitake Umi coming up here. Ichiyamamoto. Okay, I see. So they have Shonan no Umi, Asanoyama, Hokuseiho. I have Shonan no Umi, Asanoyama, Hokuseiho underneath Mitake-Umi, Ichiyamamoto. So I prioritize the winners over these losers, whereas he prioritized the losers over the winners. I don't disagree with that. I think that is also another way it could go, but I'm not too sure because Mitake-Umi, his 8 and 7 could realistically stay below Shonan no Umi and Hokuseiho. Ichiyamamoto, actually, I want to put Ichiyamamoto above Mitake-Umi here. That's what I want to do. Right next to Kinbo. Now the question is, yeah, Kinbo is a little out of reach for the Ichiyamamoto Leapfrog. But, yeah, I guess this is a good question. Is Mitake-Umi above Shonan no Umi or below Hokuseiho? Let's see. So that's a good question to pose. Does Mitake-Umi with his 8 and 7 get promoted over Shonan no Umi, Asanoyama, and Hokuseiho, or does he stay below them? And then we both have Meisei, Maegashira 9, Hirata Umi, Tamawashi, Sana no Umi, Tsurugisho, Oho. Looks like we're copying each other's homework. Then he doesn't have Chura no Umi going up that high to put Takanosho, Myogiryu, and Endo along, or Takanosho and Myogiryu there. Which I was saying earlier, I feel like we are being harsh to Takanosho, Myogiryu, and Endo, but I don't think we can, Actually, no, that's also not a bad question to pose. Chura over Taka or below Endo? I think that's another interesting scenario right there too. Chura no Umi above Takanosho or below Endo. I feel like it would be an under promotion if Chura no Umi only went up, 2 ranks. Would also be a little more fair to Takanosho and Myogiryu if we put Chura no Umi in between them somewhere. would be a little more fair to everybody? I don't know. That's another good question. Honestly, I feel like those 4 could go in any kind of way. Like, obviously, the losers stay in this setup, whereas Chirano could slot anywhere between, above Takanosho, between Takanosho Myogiryu, between Myogiryu Endo, below Endo. I feel like Chirano could go anywhere in there. Then he has Onosho, Tomokaze. He does have Koto Shoho and Onosato falling a little bit higher, so I could do something like that. He is a little harsh to Takeda Fuji, I feel, which I feel like I can be a little harsher to Takeda Fuji. If anything, I would do Koto Shoho here. Does Onosato leapfrog Bushozan? I don't know, but I feel like I would keep them both at Maegashira 16, and that might be the biggest thing I do here. Tomokaze -1 full rank instead of a half of a rank. Takeda Fuji down. He would be down 2.5 ranks, which is an appropriate fall for a 6 and 9. And then yeah, Onosato over Bushozan. So I know what the person on the left here is going for. I appreciate their thought process here because that helped me, clear a few things up myself. But there are just a couple of little things I disagree on. I think they're going to be a little harsher on Abi. I mean, realistically, too, I wrote it down. Gonoyaba, Abi, coin flip. Honestly, could go either way. I think I'm going to see what other people say before I make a final guess. Shodai Ryuden coin flip. He has Ryuden Maegashira 4. He has Shodai Maegashira 5. I don't think Shodai is going to go down that far. I don't think he falls below Tobizaru Nishikigi. I mean, he realistically could. But going back to those leapfrog things we were trying to find out earlier, like Hokuto Fuji below Tobizaru and Meisei, does Shodai fall below them as well? I don't know, because I feel like Shodai could easily be Maegashira 3 or Maegashira 5. So it's hard to play Shodai. And then, yeah, just a couple of other questions there, and I feel like this is a pretty good guess. Again, I'm not copying this dude's homework. I mean, in this middle part, it looks like we copied each other's homework. But, yeah, I think this is the best bet for my guesses. Again, I will look into, does Hoshoryu actually jump over Takakeisho? I'm going to see what other people say. And then I'm also going to kind of wait and see what a lot of other people do for their guesses. But I think this is the, I think I'm happy with these guesses. So that is where we're going to leave it. This was almost an hour long again. At the 30-minute mark, I was like, okay, it's all filled out. Let's almost be done. But, I take a long time to do this bull crap. So, yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Next week, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get the breakdowns out. I'm going to try to get the top 10s out, but December is going to be a very busy month for us, like I mentioned in the live streams. We have started packing up our stuff to move. And then, of course, we have Christmas. We're going back to New Jersey. And then as soon as I come back from Christmas, like if we want to look at this calendar, as soon as we come back from Christmas, January 1st, the Banzuke should be dropping either on Christmas or January 1st. And then I have to get the Young Guns video out. So it's going to be a tight squeeze. So I'm going to do my best to try to keep bringing the content that I like to make. I hope you guys enjoyed these Banzuke guesses. And if you want to catch me, between streams or between sumo content, be sure to check me out on twitch.tv/LeoDickinsonTV or youtube.com/LeoDickinsonVT. Those little circles will be popping up in just a second. You can click on those links to follow them to my other YouTube channels. And subscribe to me over there if you want to tune into my variety live streams, playing a lot of Mario Kart lately, watching football, watch-alongs of the football games, that kind of thing. So thank you for tuning in for this Banzuke guess. You can feel free to roast me in the comments below. Again, because there are a lot less people with their guesses out right now, I didn't really commit to a lot of these things, like, coin flip question mark, coin flip question mark, coin flip question mark, coin flip question mark, coin flip question mark. So, like, I'm gonna change this eventually. If you guys want to give me constructive feedback, go right ahead. Otherwise, if this was just, an hour of you enjoying the sultry sound of my voice, I hope you enjoyed it. That'll be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.